Genre, biography. Essential question. How do people from different cultures contribute to a community? Judy Baca by Anna Harris. Chapter 1. Young Judy Baca. Do you think real art hangs only in dusty frames on the walls of art museums? Think again. Some people create large artworks on walls. These artworks are called murals. Judy Baca is an American mural artist. She was born in 1946. Her family is from Mexico. As a young girl, Judy lived in Los Angeles with her mother, 2 aunts, and a grandmother she adored. Caption: a mural is a piece of art painted on a wall. When Judy was 6, she and her mother moved to another part of the city. The rest of her family stayed behind. Judy had always spoken in Spanish. In the new neighborhood, she wasn't allowed to speak Spanish at school. She had few Mexican-American classmates. At first, Judy struggled to pronounce and understand English words. Often, the teacher gave Judy art supplies when she couldn't follow lessons. She soon grew to love painting. When she finished school, she became the first person in her family to go to college. She studied modern art. Map labels: United States, California, Los Angeles, Mexico. After college, Judy worked for the city of Los Angeles. She taught art in the parks of a neighborhood called Boyle Heights. Different groups of teenagers hung out in these parks. The groups did not get along. Judy decided to ask 20 of the teens to help her paint a mural. She wanted them to work together without fighting. She helped them put aside their differences. Some people in the community tried to stop the project, but Judy wouldn't quit. When the mural was finished, people loved it. Many Mexican Americans lived in Boyle Heights. The mural appealed to their Mexican heritage. It became a symbol of unity. The mural was called Mi Abuelita. It showed a Mexican-American grandmother with open arms. She looked as if she was offering a hug. Caption: Mi Abuelita, which means my grandmother, was painted in a park in Boyle Heights. The success of Mi Abuelita helped Judy to start a citywide mural program. Judy worked with hundreds of young people. Together, they created about 500 murals in Los Angeles. Judy wanted the mural program to have as much freedom as possible. So in 1976, she helped start another group. The group is called the Social and Public Art Resource Center, or SPARC. SPARC creates art for people of all different backgrounds and cultures. Caption: artist Rip Kronk painted this mural for SPARC in 1989. The Murals of Mexico. Murals have a long history in Mexico. The ancient Maya painted images on the walls of temples. Much later, in the 1900s, there were 3 famous Mexican mural artists. Their names were Diego Rivera, José Clemente Orozco, and David Alfaro Siqueiros. These men used murals to show Mexican history and everyday people in Mexico. Judy Baca admired their work. Caption: these women and their babies are part of a mural by David Alfaro Siqueiros. Chapter 2. The Great Wall of Los Angeles. In 1976, Judy was asked to paint a mural on a very long concrete wall. Los Angeles is made up of people from many different cultures. Judy wanted to show how all of these people have contributed to California. She decided to paint the history of the state. The mural doesn't only show famous men and women, it tells the stories of everyday people as well. The mural is called The Great Wall of Los Angeles, and it starts in 20,000 BC. It shows the Native American people who lived in the area. It shows the arrival of the Spanish. It shows the immigrants that came to California. It shows how some groups were treated poorly. It shows Black and Hispanic people fighting for equal rights. Captions. This section of the Great Wall shows the Native American people who first settled in California. This section of the Great Wall shows Asian Americans gaining citizenship of the U.S. The Great Wall of Los Angeles is one of the longest murals on the planet. Over 400 people worked on it from 1976 to 1983. Many of these people were teenagers. They came from all different backgrounds. So far, it has taken about 75,000 hours to paint the Great Wall. However, Judy isn't done yet. Right now, she's planning to paint the latest events and issues. Caption. This team of painters worked on the Great Wall of Los Angeles in the 1980s. Looking after the Great Wall. The Great Wall is getting old. Some parts have been around for more than 40 years. The mural has coped with sun, rain, and pollution. The colors were fading and some of the paint was peeling off. Now the mural is getting a facelift. A team of people is slowly cleaning it. They're bringing all the bright colors and images back. Caption. Judy is helping a team of people to clean and repaint the Great Wall. Chapter 3. More recent work. In 1996, Judy started the Digital Mural Lab. People in the lab use computers to create murals. The first lab project was called Witnesses to LA History. Judy and college students made 6 digital images. Each image stood for a different cultural group. Judy wanted to show that all of the groups are important. They're all part of the history of Los Angeles. The murals were hung in California Plaza. Caption. One of the murals shows Biddy Mason, who was freed from slavery after arriving in California. She became a nurse who fed and sheltered the poor. In 1999, 125 14-year-olds were part of the Shoulder to Shoulder project. These teens were from different backgrounds and cultures. Each teen was paired with someone that they wouldn't usually meet. The teens talked about how they were the same and how they were different. Then they created artworks that showed what they had learned. The art was made into banners. Hundreds of these banners were hung all over Los Angeles. Caption. This banner shows 2 teens talking about the future. Los Angeles is known as the City of Murals. This is partly because of Judy Baca. Judy made Los Angeles a more colorful place to live. She helped to fill the streets of Los Angeles with images. The images show the struggles, hopes, and dreams of the city's people. Caption. The Great Wall of Los Angeles could be Judy Baca's greatest achievement. Quotation: have the biggest vision you can. If you can't dream it, it cannot occur. Judy Baca. Vibrant Los Angeles. Do you want to check out Los Angeles? This city has some very cool communities. Lemert Park. Lemert Park is home to many artists and musicians. Famous singers Ray Charles and Ella Fitzgerald once lived in Lemert Park. Lemert Park also has the longest-running hip-hop open mic in the world. Map: Los Angeles. Map labels: Boyle Heights, Lemert Park, Venice Beach. Key: green equals City of Los Angeles. Boyle Heights. Boyle Heights has a large Hispanic population. One popular street corner is Mariachi Plaza. This is where mariachi bands come to look for work. They play music together in the evenings. Other people drive up and listen to the music. They hire their favorite bands to perform at weddings and parties. Caption: mariachi musicians perform at Mariachi Plaza. Venice Beach. Many street performers gather at Venice Beach. They give the area a circus-like feel. Venice Beach also attracts people who aren't scared to take a tumble. It has an area for rope climbers and acrobats. Basketball players come to practice their skills on the ball courts, too. Some NBA stars hung out at Venice Beach before they were famous. Caption: players test their ball skills at Venice Beach.